So now our job is to get this drag and drop exercise to actually work, so that the program recognizes that that text should fit over that picture and not over these pictures, that this text should fit over that picture and not the others, and so on. To do that, what we're going to do is to create a variable. Variables are used all the time in computer programming, and the easiest way to understand them is to think of them as containers that can take on a value and then drop it. So that, let's just create the variable. You need to go to the Page tab and click on Variable. You get this screen. Click on New. You can see that there are different types you can have, and whether the scope is global or local. Looks a bit puzzling, but it actually is fairly obvious. What we're going to call it? Well, easiest thing to do is to call it var, all your variables var something, and what we're looking for is the name. So why not call it just var name? Because you need to remember what it is. When you get loads of variables, they all have to mean something. We only really want it on this page. We don't want it throughout, and it is text, so those two are fine. So we've now created our variable. Now what we need to do is to say, well, what that variable is actually going to mean. What I want it to do is to, let's go to the Programming tab. I want it so that when the mouse drops it down, that it will correspond to the same. So I'm going to go assign. The variable is var name, and in speech marks or inverted commas, I'm just going to type in the same. So now that's taken on the value of the same when it drops on something. So that's that one taken care of. I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to assign again that variable. So now when the Jessica text is dropped on something, it takes on the value of Jessica. And finally, when the Mo text drops on something, that variable then becomes, var name variable then becomes Mo. So that's that. Now we've got it differentiating between the different things. Now I'm going to go onto this one and create an if function. Events. When it gets dropped on, which is way down here, if. So if I can go here and see what my project variables are, var name. So I've got that. Oh, I don't want the true there, so let's delete that. Project variables var name. If var name equals, and that's the picture of Jessica, in inverted commas, var name equals, not plus, then what's going to happen? I'm going to show there's nothing to show. I'm going to hide. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the Jessica picture. Let it fade away. And I'm going to hide the Jessica text. This is where it becomes really useful to have that all clearly labelled. If it's not that, I'm going to show the wrong box. And I might have it so it shows and then it hides again, which probably would make some sense. But this is just to give an example. So that is going to be that. Drop on. Let's get that sorted. So let's just see. So let's run that page. Run the page. Move Mo onto it. It has brought in the Dropbox, that's good. And I'm going to move Jessica onto it. And both have faded. So now that's worked. So we can go back to it and just go through all of them. This one, events. If, when I drop it on, again, we're going to go to if project variable var name. You can just type it in. Var name equals. Remember, you always got to do the speech marks. Now that was a picture of Mo. So if the var name is Mo, I'm going to play a sound. I wonder if I've got the sound. Here I have got the winner sound. And if it's not, I'm going to play the loser sound. So let's just see how that goes. So I'm going to run the page, and if I put Jessica on it, if I put Mo on it, and that's fine. So you can continue doing it like that. The important thing is to understand that what we've done is we've created a variable, and that when the variable comes into play, then when it drops in, that variable then becomes insane. And when it drops on one of these images, events, when it drops on, if it is what you want it to be, then something happens. If it's not that, something else happens. This string can be anything you want it to be, provided you've got the elements in there. But you do need to think about things like, for instance, if you've got the wrong box appearing there, it's going to be this. It's probably best to put a timeline in, and then appear, and then disappear. So that would be your drag and drop, which you can use for lots of other activities.